Yeah, we are on YouTube. So, good afternoon, YouTube. We are here for another English immersion. My name is Warley, and the topic for today is overcoming phone anxiety among young people. So, we're going to talk a little bit about this, okay? But just a explanation about Talk and Talk for you that are watching us on YouTube. Talk and Talk is a conversation platform for beginner, intermediate, and advanced speakers. But we are not here to teach you anything directly. I'm not an English teacher, for example. But the idea is to develop your fluency and your confidence as an English speaker. Okay. We don't focus on corrections. Also, the idea is to have a conversation and learn with all of you that are here. Okay. Besides English, you have other languages like Spanish, French, Italian, and German, and you can see all of that on the Talk and Talk website. Okay, so that's the main idea about the platform. So, with that in mind, let's go to the introductions, and after that, with the questions. Okay, so Katerini, can you please introduce yourself for us?
Okay. Hi, I'm Catherine. I now live in Recife, like you, I think. Um, I live with my mom and sister in Rio, and I work as a biology teacher. That's it about me.
Amazing, amazing. And how about you, Dio? Can you please introduce yourself for us?
Sure. I'm 41 years old. I'm living in São Paulo. I work at insurance market. I have two boys. I'm married. Here in Talk Talk since June last year. That is, I don't have many hobbies. I like to stay in peace, but I don't have free time. And when I have it, I enjoy my time for studying English for the Imersão. Now I'm in my office, but I have a lunch very fast for to be here.
Amazing, amazing. That's the idea about this spot on the English movie, I believe. I'm doing the same. So, my name is Warley. I'm 25. I live in Recife, Pernambuco. Today is raining a lot here. It's complicated. I work with IT on IT area. I'm also English host here on Talk and Talk. I have started here on 2022 as a Spanish host, and nowadays I'm focused more on English. I like to learn language. I like to learn about neuroscience and behavior as well. I like to run, and yeah, I think that's all about me. So let's go to the question number one. How often do you make or receive phone calls in your daily life? In addition, do you feel comfortable talking on the phone? What do you think, Catherine? Let me know about you.
Well, it's very difficult to receive calls nowadays. I think I only call for someone or receive some call when it's an emergency. So when someone don't answer me on the WhatsApp, on Instagram, the website. So I think maybe is people see this like a rude thing, you call for someone because nowadays it's so difficult. And I think it's just normal for my grandmother, maybe because she always called to me and to my sister because she don't know how to use website to chat. So that's it.
Do you make some calls without WhatsApp, for example, on the default phone app? So like
Yeah,
that?
I have a best friend and I think I don't know, almost all day we talking on the WhatsApp call. So, but it's not a, big normal thing because in some years ago, people just call for you. And nowadays we have to schedule this, like, oh, and 9 p.m. you are free because you can make a call. Yeah, you have to schedule that. So it's different.
And do you use the default app to call someone, the common phone, or just WhatsApp right now?
No, I use my common phone to call for someone. In my house, I think it's very difficult nowadays having
Mm-hmm.
a phone for the house, telefone com fio. I don't know how to say that,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have that. So when I am in a street and there is some emergency and I couldn't chat to my sister, my mom, something like that. Usually I call for this telephone. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's funny for me because I barely use the traditional app to call someone, you know. When I need to call someone, like my mother or my father, I use the WhatsApp call, you know. And it's so common, like to use that to text someone or just to call someone in a audio or video mode. And it is not common to use for me, actually the traditional app, you know. So, some in some cases, my parents call me on the traditional way, but I think it's always with them. I barely use to call someone without WhatsApp, you know. I just use WhatsApp all the time to call someone or to text someone, you know.
Mhm.
I think it's like common for a lot of people. I don't know. I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
And what about you, Diogo? What's your experience? Let me know.
I'm a commercial manager, and I received many calls all days with my clients. Here in my company, we use the Microsoft Teams for virtual meetings, and uh, I have the cell phone, my personal cell phone, my corporate cell phone, and I have I don't remember this word, telefone fixo. In my my number talk in Microsoft Teams. Do you know? If you call me with my fixed number, my cell phone talk in my laptop, for example. And yes, I talked a lot in my cell phone. Uh, maybe normally calls or WhatsApp calls too, because it's the most important for my relationships. Landline phone, yes, and for me it's normal. With my family, sometimes I like to call because I need more easier uh, for communication. Sometimes we need to explain anything or request any information. I prefer very fast to call and Warley, can you help me with this or that, for example. Or my mom preferred to call me than to send the message for WhatsApp. But she used to. I think this, and yes, I'm feeling very comfortable to talk in cell phone or phones because I learning this. I growing with calls, in the past, I don't have smartphone. My first method of communication when a long time ago when my parents bought the one line, fixed line, landing line. In the past, it's more expensive. It's up like to I don't know in English, patrimonial. Well, if you have a landline number, it's a patrimony. Like to have a car, we have a house. It's funny.
Yeah, I was thinking here that in a general way, I use like phone calls just with my parents in a general way, you know. I don't use that a lot with other people, like my girlfriend sometimes, but in in the most cases, like texting. and I make calls, phone calls, for example, with my parents, I believe, just with them. And actually, I was thinking here that I receive a lot of calls every day, but it's like spam, and I need to block all of them, and it's unbelievable. It's like I don't know, 3 or 4 every day,
Yes.
and I don't know why, but it's unbelievable. I need to block all of them, and just with that, it's pretty
I'm
So,
unbelievable.
very, oh,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
no, go ahead,
Go on.
Catherine.
Okay. I'm very happy because I had a company, um, telephone company, I think is that. And maybe because that is not unusual, because people usually have a team, Claro, Vivo, this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Correios, Correio celular. And it's very good because I don't receive these calls, you know. My mom receive a lot, and I never receive this kind of call. So I feel very, very privileged because it's very annoying. Sometimes I stay just my mom and her cell phone will start to ring and is I don't know, someone that call from the presidio or something like that, you know. So yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, exactly that. And sometimes it's so annoying because you think that it's an important call, and it's just a spam. In some cases, my cell phone, it has like a alert about spam call, and I have the information on the number, but sometimes no, and it's pretty annoying because in some cases, I think that's an important call, maybe someone calling me, but in all of them, it's spam, so it's pretty annoying. I also think about this. It's complicated. Uh, but okay, let's go to the question number two. Why do you think phone calls were so important in the past, compared to nowadays that I believe that a lot of people don't do that a lot as before, what do you think, Diogo?
Yeah, like I said, in the past, the phone calls were basically one fast method for two people's communication between, because you actually have the like two correios, telex. When I started working, we have a fax. Do you know what is a fax? It's,
I've heard about that, but I never use it.
no, oh, when I see that, oh, amazing, because we put the paper in the machine, in another place, the same paper print in another machine. No, it's very fun because imagine, oh, we have the correio normally 2, 3, 4, 1 week until the letter arrived in the place, for example. And when I saw the fax, oh, amazed my shine. In this time, I started the work at insurance market too. We have the internet, but the internet with the pulse, no fast band like to know. And this time, I worked during the day, prepare my docs, my any coaches and propose. And in the day, one time per day or 2 time per day, we get it connection in the internet for to send by electrons this document, but it's very expensive in this moment. How which time we connect to the internet, because in this time we paid for the post. I don't remember like the terms in English or semi in Portuguese, but it's incredible. And in this time, the phone calls were the only method for our communication between my colleagues, between my clients, you know. I think this.
Yeah, it's so interesting because when you think about fax, for example, it's pretty unbelievable to think about these nowadays, you know. It's so different how we can communicate right now and the options that we have, like instantaneously, or instantly. I don't know this word, but in so
Uh,
quickly, and we can like send a message for anyone in other place in the world, you know, and it's pretty unbelievable this idea about I will send like a document in one place and will appear on the other place, you know, like
mhm.
magic. But nowadays we use all of these things all the time, and that's pretty like common nowadays, you know. So it's pretty unbelievable when we compare the ways that we communicate before and nowadays. That's pretty interesting in my opinion. That is a lot of
Yes,
changes.
and I remember when I saw in the know the facts. It's amazing machine. It's very interesting. But when my company in this time is my first job. Both the new computer, like to 486 computer, you know, 486 with a Intel Pentium 100 megahertz. Oh, it's a strong machine, strong processor, nice. And we start using the speed like to internet we have today, but in this time we can choose before after when time the pulse or always connection with the internet. My boss bought a new machine, new line for only use the internet, and bought a software for sending fax by electronic. Imagine we do the letter in Microsoft Word, for example, and no print more and choose send the fax. You create the letter with Microsoft Word, and when I print only print in the paper, no, we have the command for to print and sending the fax without paper. It's amazing, amazing technology. And today we have the same procedure with the WhatsApp or send email by our smartphone. It's fun. It's funny.
And it's pretty unbelievable as well when you think about before we had like a computer on with Intel Pentium and this processor, I believe that's the name.
Yes.
And nowadays, if you don't have like a Intel E5, A5 or a A7, I don't know, you can use almost nothing, you know, you can do nothing with that. It's pretty uh, complicated to run like how can I say, navegador in English, browser.
Browser.
You can do nothing without that because Google Chrome, for example, is so heavy to use and it's unbelievable. What we have before and what we have and what we need now, you know, it's pretty, it's a big change, you know,
Yes, big
and
change exactly.
yeah, and when you compare also the point of AI nowadays and all these kind of computers, supercomputers that we need to train that, it's
Mhm.
also unbelievable to think before about this, you know. It's pretty amazing. And yeah, that's a nice point. I was searching here actually the word about instantaneamente, and you can say instantly. Yeah, instantly. It's not a easy word actually, but you can say like that in a quick way.
Instant
Yeah,
messaging. Instant messaging.
yeah, exactly. Instantly message or yeah, exactly that. So nice. And let me know about you, Catherine. What do you think about this question number two?
Yeah, very interesting because, like Diego said about facts, I didn't use this. I think it is the primordial of the internet, you know, because it can
Mhm.
send and receive things instantaneously, the message, of course. And yeah, I think we always have this necessity that doing a communication with another person. So in the past, we have letters and the calls, and now we have the internet. So we just change the mean of transportation, the message, the way that we transportation the message, I think, because we still have the necessity to connect with the other people, and yeah, I think it's that. It's just internet is just a new way to do the same thing, and maybe it's a cheaper way and a faster way, because I remember when I was a kid that send a letter was a little expensive. Sometimes there was telegrama, I think it's that, and you have to count the words, So nowadays you can talk a lot without count the words. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking here that I've never used fax, for example, but I've heard about that, and I believe that I just heard about that because of the joke about the Palmeiras team, and all of this point, and just because of that. But I never seen fax machine, or I think that's the idea, and I've never used that as well, and it's pretty funny because it was not so on the past, it's not so like uh so, how can I say that, não é tão velho, that's the point. How can I say that in English? Let me see.
It's not so old, something like that.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's not so old. Thank you. And it's unbelievable that I'm 25 and I've never seen a fax machine. It's pretty funny, I believe. And I also agree with you, Catherine, that you said about the point of maybe the idea about communicating with text compared to phone calls, it's the point of comfortable, it's so comfortable to just text someone and to do that in a instantly way, and it's so simple as well to do that and so easy. So maybe it's because of that. But related to this point, let's go to the question number three. In your opinion, why do many young people today prefer texting over calling? And in other words, what makes phone calls less appealing to them in a general way? What do you think, Catherine? Let me know. You're muted, Catherine?
Hello?
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
okay, what is the question?
The question number three.
In your opinion, why do many young people today prefer texting over calling? In other words, what makes phone calls less appealing to them? Okay, I think when you call to someone, you have to stay in a calm place, and be able to talk. And there is some factors that you have to consider about. And when you text, you can do that while you do another thing, while you are in your work, while you are studying in school or something like that. So you don't need a calm place, a quiet place, and it's more private too, because people can listen what you're talking about. So maybe for these reasons.
And do you think are there some negative points related to not do phone calls for young people? Do you think there any problems for them?
Yeah, I think so. Because when you text to someone, um, you know, you can read the person that received the message can read in a wrong way. So yeah, that is more a misunderstanding, I think. So yeah, I think it is a negative point.
Yeah, nice point. And what about you, Dio? What do you think about this?
Oh, I'm looking a lot with my son Lucas, who is 15 years old, because I sometimes I stay very nervous because I call for him and don't answer. You know, I stayed very nervous. Lucas tell me, but father, I write for you in WhatsApp. But I don't care. I want to call it for you. You need to answer now in this moment. Lucas always tell me, but father, I explain in the message. But the teenager is very strange because, for example, I question, oh Lucas, do you did your lesson? And Lucas answer, S or N? S like to yes, any or no, no. Oh, okay. Sometimes, Lucas tell me about Dad, I came to do the swimming pool today. And Lucas write only for me, Dad, IPSS. PSS like to I can. Posso. PSS, do you know? It's funny. I don't know this language. I know Portuguese. I know a little English, but this language I don't know. And I think for the young it's more easier to communicate because many times we don't have much time for question, and the youngers know that it's more easier for your life because when you have don't question, don't I don't know English, but sometimes when you force your think about your attitudes, your doing anywhere else that sometimes the youngers prefer to only send text because it's more easier, especially with the parents, I think. But sometimes I confess, for example, I need to talk with my client to resolve the problem, for example. And I don't have the solution in this moment. I don't have the answer. I need to sometimes, oh, Warley, I'm looking for your problem, but now I don't have the solution. I call you after, before. And sometimes it's important for we getting more time for solution problems, anything. But for the youngers, it's because it's more easier. And my son, for example, no. When I call, normally it's more urgent, or because he did anything I don't know or I don't like. Lucas, no.
And do you think this kind of people and the young generation, your son, for example, will you have problems with this point to avoid to do phone calls, for example? Are there some negative points?
Yes, because I don't know, because Lucas grew up in the childhood for start teenager with the pandemic, In time, it's very difficult to understand because Lucas stayed at the school during the only day. When it started the pandemic, oh, we have to lock in our home, you know. But he continues the class with the virtual class, but don't know the contact with her friends. In the video game, Lucas playing the Xbox, no, PlayStation. And today we have the conversation anyone at the video game with the playing video game with the uh, how can I controle
Yeah,
remoto lá
joystick.
do videogame. Joystick
Joystick.
with joystick and put the microphone and talk what else, you know. But it's different when we need to talking about anything more serious or to attention with the subjects like to the math, the Portuguese, the history lessons at the school. I think because it's the youngers don't want to thinking a lot because it's easier to get the information by Google now, AI, you know. I think that's it.
Yeah, I believe that's a problem when you think about the workplace, because it's not only because they are avoiding to not make some calls, but it's the point of avoiding to communicate and to talk with people in a real time, That's pretty important when you think about your work on the job and on the workplace
Mhm.
because these skills about communication, the communication skills, it's pretty important to them in the future. Will be so important,
What
And yeah, go ahead.
uh, 2 months ago, I saw one friend is a leadership in another company, my friend, but in another company. Uh, he uh, he he was making interviews for a new opportunity with your team. And one day we have together in your home to working. But after the work we have the barbecue, drink a beer. It's a Friday day normally. And the last point at the day he was the interview. Warley, this person, uh, this opportunity like to trainee, at the multinational company. The person don't Catherine, please don't take for about you, but for one interview, the person don't turn on the video for interview. I don't imagine how we the interview if we needed to see another person, Okay. And then my colleague question about, oh, Wale, can you turn on the video for IPCU, the person response? No, because yeah, I don't want to show my face, and you need know about me for my skills, not for my appearance. I thought, oh, Chris, I don't listen about this. It's impossible. I my colleague was, how old are you? The person, oh, I have 22 years. 22 years. Don't want you turn on the video because don't want to show your face. Unbelievable. Imagine this person working, another person's working in chain. It's impossible to sell anything. It's impossible.
Yeah, and that's pretty unbelievable, but it's common, mainly on the IT area,
Hmm.
The programmers and some people like that, they like this point about not show the not turn on the camera and all this stuff. And it's pretty unbelievable because when you think about to have a meeting in person, you can't do that, You can't like
Yes,
turn
face to
off your
face.
camera.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's pretty unbelievable. And I don't know, some people are pretty strange related to this, and they think that because they are on the computer, they can do everything, and that's okay, So
Hmm.
it's okay when you are on a meeting and you have a lot of meetings in some cases. for example, and you turn off your camera. But if you work with clients in a direct way and all this stuff, and if you are on an interview, for example, it's unbelievable, you know, if you are like turning off your camera and just because you don't want to do that, you know. So it's pretty unbelievable, and that's pretty common on the IT area. And yeah, that's pretty strange. I don't know. I don't understand, but
Yes,
yeah,
for me now, for example, to do the immersion for me, no problem. But well, it was an interview. Do you want
yeah,
a job?
exactly.
You know? Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to show my face. Incredible, incredible. It's funny.
Yeah, that's like the point. That's pretty strange. But okay. So we are talking about the point of negative points related to the idea to avoid doing making calls. So let's go to the question number five, and that's the opposite. Some argue that texting lacks the personal touch of a phone call, but on the other hand, what are the advantages of texting over calling? So, what do you think are there the advantages related to texting over calling in a general way? We talked about disadvantages a lot, but let's talk about the opposite, you know. So um, let let me see, Joe, what do you think?
Well, I think it's, for example, in my day, it's easier, and I can win the little time for another test, for example. Sometimes the subject is very simple, and when I have to do the simple question or direct questions about, Warley, do you prefer red or black? It's good. I don't see the problem, because when I send the text messages, sometimes we can make mistakes about, though, because the language or grammatical things talking, but the context. Last Friday, I talked with my friend here in my job. The state situation little strange because I question if he have any problem, and the person understand. Uh, I talk for us if the person was any problem, you know, because a little word between and the question in context change the syntax, the context, you know. But for me, it's important to win the time, to get more time to do any task, to do any object points. I think this.
Yeah, I believe that the most important point related to texting over calling, for example, is the point of asynchronous communication. You know, it's nice in
Mhm.
some cases that we can we want to have like the communication in a synchronous way, and that's interesting when you think about this option because in some cases related to workplace, for example, no one has all the time to get meetings synchronously, you know, so to have calls and to do that, and that's okay. So it's easier to just text and get the answer after, for example, in a synchronous way, and that's pretty nice. And in other hand, you can like thinking better when you are texting, for example, so that's nice as well. And yeah, I believe that the both methods have the positive and negative points, you know. The point related to that, I think that's when you think about just text and avoiding make calls at all, it's complicated because it's important to communicate, to have like the real-time communication as well. And it's important on the workplace, on your life, it's also important. You can't like communicate with all the people just with text, you know, so that's pretty unbelievable.
Yes,
So,
it's like,
well,
yes,
yeah.
it's like what all the things we done or we can do in your life. Always things I guess depends how we use it. You know,
Yeah.
it's important to mention how we use the sent texts, how they use the phone calls, how they use the virtual meetings or presential meetings. Because sometimes we normally we it's I don't know in English like to when I learning about emotional intelligence, you know, we think about if we can do it's necessary or not because sometimes only it's a wish. I hope to win the lottery for example. Okay, but you hope you play the lottery because if you don't play with never to win the lottery, you know? Like it is.
Yeah, the point is just balance, you know. That's okay if you avoid some in some cases to make calls and
Hmm.
texting as well. The problem is the extremos, you know, when you think about just texting or just doing making calls, it's complicated. When you have this balance, that's okay because both both skills related to this kind of communication, it's important. So that's the main point, you know. I also agree with you.
Yes, and for me, I'm a commercial manager. The most skills we have, and I have, is the
Mhm.
relationship. But for the
Yeah.
construction of strong relationships, we necessary to contact, presence, calls, listen, no only text. It's
Mhm.
different depending of the professional or the position. It's a good point too. But what else? It's a interesting topic.
Yeah, exactly. Some positions have this importance on this kind of communication. You know, for us, for some jobs, it's pretty important. So, yeah, I pretty agree with you.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
let me send here the survey on the chat. As you said, this anonymous survey. You can say what did you think about immersion, and you can also suggest other topics to talk. Unfortunately, I have done time for more questions, but I would like to see you on the next time, and I hope you enjoy the conversation as well. And that's all. So thank you, Diogo.